Okay, so a bit of a long one, going for a snorkel at Point Lonsdale, looking for necklace carpet sharks, which I formerly called varied carpet sharks, but that seems to have fallen out of favour. But Parascyllium variolatum, if you want the Latin, and found one, and it was on the move, which I find is unusual. I usually find these animals hiding away under the Eclonia, the brown kelp. This one, out and about for a swim. I didn't want to bug it too much, so I sat at the surface, so you may find this a bit hard to track for the bulk of the time that the shark is in the field of view. But I just wanted to see what it was up to. Why is this shark up and about swimming in the daytime when normally it would be hiding away until nightfall and come out on the hunt? Very beautiful animal. Very snake-like shape for a shark. Took me about 10 minutes to come across it, so just snorkeling around Point Lonsdale is always pleasant in good weather. This is just towards the end of summer, about 2/3 of the way through March. At this point, I can see the shark is swimming back and forth across the current. This was on a flooding tide. Don't let the surge fool you. The direction of the lay of the kelp doesn't actually show you which way we're drifting on the current. But the shark is going back and forth across the current, so it's clearly picked up some scent that it wants to investigate. Something interesting going on there for it? No. Perhaps just an eddy in the current and the scent trail circling around among the rocks. Back on the move again. Necklace carpet sharks get their name from the band of markings over the gills. It's quite distinct from the rest of the grey, black, white mottling over the rest of the body. It's quite good camouflage for lurking in the shadows under kelp. And for some reason, the gills feature an extra dark band with tiny white speckling. They're very pretty animals up close. Gorgeous sort of sheen to the denticles on the skin. Grow to about 1.5 meters, and while their mouth is small, I encourage you never to touch one because the denticles are very, very sandpapery, as is the case. Well, all sharks and rays have denticles on their skin, but in the case of this species, they are large and very rough. And I have heard that someone picked one up and it wrapped around their arm and then swam as fast as it could, and it left behind a huge chafe, a bloody mess. Came in close because I was about to head into shore. I wanted to get some decent close-up footage of the animal. It's still following whatever scent trail has caught its attention. Hopefully you can see the distinctive necklace banding around the gills in that sequence. These are oviparous animals. They lay eggs called a mermaid's purse, similar to this, and the hatchlings come out pretty much ready to go. They're able to start feeding and hunting straight away. but they're tiny and you don't see them very often. I actually came across this one when I was tasked with finding some blue ring octopus, and they occupy the same sorts of crevices and cracks and little tiny caves as you go looking for those animals. Next group of sharks that I'd like to find along the Victorian coast are some Port Jackson sharks. They're very common, and in this case I went to Bowen Head's Bluff. You can only get out and snorkel there about 2 days a year. It's a very rough surfing sort of spot, but if you can get out there, you can find this shark hole, and there's always a few Port Jackson sharks asleep in there. They're also oviparous, and they lay these super cool eggs with the spiral flange around the outside. I have heard that the females will lay the egg and then pick it up in their mouth and jam it into a crevice, and the flange will hold it in place there and prevent it from being washed ashore, but that clearly hasn't worked in this instance, if that is actually something that the females do. And just to remind you that not all sharks in Victorian waters are bottom-dwelling mollusk feeders. I went diving with my daughter and we got buzzed by this 7-gill, probably about 1.5 meters long, off in the distance there, just checking us out. They are a fairly slow moving shark most of the time, and they look kind of dumb, but I don't take for granted that they are a large predatory fish with some pretty rippy sort of teeth, and I have heard that they can catch and eat seals. So I love to see them, but I don't trust them. And just to finish up, baby shark do 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 do, baby shark do 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 do, baby shark do 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 do, baby shark. Enjoy your earworm, people, and I hope to see you out on or under the water.